Alright guys, we're gonna jump right in today. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm setting a challenge to finally get a video to you in 10 minutes or less. Brad, I want you to put a timer up and start it as I'm about to blow the doors off a critical aspect of your MSP's growth and scale that everyone is afraid. Everyone's afraid to say this out loud. And I just want to blow the doors off of this. So run that rad intro. Alright guys, so why am I so fired up about this right now? Well, last night, my boy Shawn Torres, yeah, that Shawn Torres, we were chatting about this time at BuildIT this week, the conference that our friends over at IT by Design put on, and he had a very interesting conversation with another MSP owner. Anywho, I'm paraphrasing here. Shawn and I were talking around 6 o'clock at night on a Friday, so go figure. But Shawn challenged the other owner, right? He's a juggernaut, right? We all need to, pressure Shawn right now to do his own content because the guy is a machine. But anywho, one of the owners was complaining that some sales and marketing tools were simply out of their budget. And Shawn challenged him a little bit because Shawn is able to leverage some of these tools to net anywhere between 1 and 2 clients per month, something that a lot of MSPs just are unable to figure out. And what he explained to this other owner was that the return on investment of that lead generation tool would only take a single MSP client to pay itself off for an entire year. Now, outside of this debate, this got Shawn and I talking about how, due to the paranoia that many of us sales and business owners have on landing every deal that comes our way, right? Because we don't have them all the time, so we get really nervous, and if we don't get that client, maybe that last client that walked out of the door is going to make me lay somebody off, right? We have all this anxiety, right? Because of all of this and the need to land these deals, we cling to this thought leadership that every deal for every customer needs to have every product for it to be a success. And quite frankly, this is us making decisions that make our lives easier, but not our clients. And right, we set ourselves up for failure when we expect our prospects to buy this $1 million per user per month type product after just 2 conversations. Now, without getting into the math, right, go check out my product development video for all of that stuff. We got into the conversation of the product. And so many MSPs are simply afraid to identify themselves as a sales organization, which, you know what? That's fine. However, you cannot argue that without customers, you do not have a business. Therefore, new logos, prospects, sales, and marketing are simply something we have to do. Now, to prevent denial fatigue and build resilience, go watch my video on resilience if you haven't watched it yet. We need more at-bats, which means a lower closing ratio. However, it means more feedback on our potential market our product may have.
A, B, C. A always B, B, C closing.
And guys, while always be closing is definitely where we're going here, what I'm trying to say here is that as MSP technologists, experts, we suck at taking our ideal client profile's opinion on the products that we build. We never listen to them. And I was one of these guys, by the way, until my good old friend Joe Dirt showed me the way.
Where's good stuff, man?
Snakes and sparklers are the only ones I like.
It's not what you like, it's the consumer.
And guys, we are simply doing this. We are selling snakes and sparklers. We're not selling the good stuff in the eyes of our customers. We're not communicating with them, right? We want to make sure we build products our customers actually want to buy. Doesn't matter how technologically smart we are. We don't got a business if they're not buying our shit. And guys, we get so bogged down in our own echo chambers that we fail to analyze, right, if the products we have are even on our client's shopping list, right? We don't go through the client profile process or the target market process to really understand, is this advice we're getting from somebody even valid for my market, right? You have to catch or trick a unicorn every time to get a deal.
You've got to start with the customer experience and work backwards to the technology.
So what does this have to do with Shawn and I's conversation? Simply stated, what so many of us are afraid to say out loud is sometimes you have to sell the product before or while it is in development. Ah, shit. I said it, guys. We sometimes have to sell shit we do not have the ability to develop at scale or sell at scale. We need to make sure that something that we are going to invest our time and effort and dollars into is something people want to buy. Now, before you all run off tar and feather me and accuse me of being unethical, give me a moment to color between the lines. So if you watch that video about product development process, you'll recall I talked about this fake rule of sevens where, right, it takes you 7 deals from a single product to have a full ROI of the product development process, right? So if I need to sell something 7 times, I gotta be damn sure that my product has 7 potential clients. It's 7 potential clients I can find this year, and honestly, hopefully sooner, right? The last thing you wanna do is get to client 3 and realize you got no more potential customers, right? You're sitting there with a bag of debt and you got to make sure all 3 of those customers stay on board for the next 10 years before you make a single dollar.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
So exactly, right? We lose in this scenario. And to boot, we also don't want to get to a place where the first 3 deals, we lost more money because we failed to understand how the product revenue would blend into our total gross margin, right? Go check out my video on blending margins and how it can be dangerous. And by the way, if you watch my live video or live webinar with Peter Kajawa and Alex Farling, we talked a lot about how MSPs are losing money because of professional services. So if you're developing a product that is a project, you really need to understand what you need to do to package it to make a single dollar. So thinking about this ethically, right, we need to find a middle ground. And our friends over in software have a fantastic process for this. In software, commonly they use an agile framework that has to deal with a minimally viable product. Now, we normally refer to this as MVP, and an MVP is a product with enough features to attract early adopters and validate a product's idea early in the product development cycle. And in industries such as software, this can help the product team receive user feedback as quickly as possible to iterate and improve that product. And guys, it's not just the technical team or the development team. Sometimes sales and marketing and finance have to be involved in this process, right? Just so that they can figure out how they are going to market to their customers. Because if I know it's going to take me another 2 months to get this to market, I need to start looking for customers now to sell them in 2 months based off of your sales cycle, right? Going back to the lead generation tool that Shawn was talking about at the conference. Right? So we got to prepare ourselves to get that client in the door, which means I might need to sell them on that. So the idea is simple, right? Invest a little time and resources into a product to allow our teams to get clients in the door or to give you feedback on if it will have success or not, right? They may not even want it. And with their feedback, you're able to decide if you need to add more tools, endpoints, manpower, right? Go watch my video on markup versus margin to really figure out the price that you need to set this to guarantee those gross margin dollars to pay your sales and services teams and get the net profit in the business that allows you to operate. And guys, why this is ethical is you are able to simply state to your customers, right? Set the expectation, hey, we have this new product that will fit your needs and we can get you in as an early adopter with a great price as long as you're okay with some hiccups, adjustments, and some minor tweaks that we might have to make to it, but we are always going to take care of you. If you set that expectations, guys, you can do whatever you want with your product and customers. It's all about this communication, and sometimes we project on our customers what they're going to say to us, which then makes us build a product in our own minds. Don't do that. And this happens every day, right? We as technologists love being beta testers. And I can tell you right now, your prospects will love this transparency and they will love the idea of this quid pro quo, we help you, you help us. And let's be real, everyone loves beta. How many of your customers went and bought the new iPhone 15 last week on release day, regardless of the bugs, the operating system, or the reviews that went out? It's just part of our culture now. Now, it is at that stage that you are able to get into the marketable release or the feature roadmap to make strategic investments to get this to the next stage and get this product to the vision that you may have for it in the long term. But right, you're not doing this on your own debt, right? We're doing this with revenue. It's a lot better place to be. And guys, I care way too much about your businesses, and there is a ton of noise out there on how much you should charge, what should be in your all-you-can-eat agreements, who your target markets should be, and it's never noise from your customers. It's never noise from your markets. It's just the echo chamber of our channels and these gurus out there.
In my book, I know you are, but what am I?
So Shawn and I had a good laugh that if you were able to engineer a $100 user a month agreement, you could capture a significant market share by just building what your client wants. right? You could easily start to poach them. And these are the ideas that this type of thinking process allows you to expand beyond some of the frameworks that are currently out there. Now, guys, I hear you, right? There's a lot of cyber and technological and security reasons you bundle the farm in your agreements. And I'd argue some are in there because you're afraid to sell or have the add-on conversation with them later down the road, or the documentation and policy process that would, you may need to have them sign a contract saying, if you don't want this cyber insurance or this cybersecurity monitoring tool, here's a denial agreement you need to sign, Mr. Customer, stating you don't want it, and I'm not at risk if you get breached. However, I'm still going to provide those IT services for you to make sure your team's computer health is operating correctly. Those conversations, guys, are 100% okay. You just got to put the manpower into making sure you have the systems to have those conversations. Now, if the client doesn't want everything, right, let's go back to that conversation on blending margins. I'm okay with them buying services because that's the product I have most control of my margins with, right? Go watch Deconstructing Managed Services Profitability. But this is also where I have the ability to just do what I do best. This is what a lot of us have built our organizations on, not these extra products that I built because either one, I needed to, two, my neighbor said I'm doing it or a competitor's doing it, so I need to keep up with the Joneses. Or three, I'm bored of my product, so I'm gonna go change it just because I'm bored, not because my client's bored. Anywho, right? So lots to talk about on that, right? The service margin conversation we had with Peter Kajawa last week, fantastic. Go watch that. We got all into that. Now, if the client needs your help in a pinch, right, and they did sign those denial agreements, go help them. Don't tell them I told you so. Get them the bill for, hey, because we had to jump in on something you didn't have, here's the bill. Let's revisit this conversation. Be a human about it. Don't be gross about it. And for engineers, guys, where this sounds gross, please, please, please go watch the video I have on the MSP business model for all employees, as it's these margin saving decisions that ensure you are working smarter, not harder, and are being paid fairly. The things that we do in our organizations that bleed margin are the exact same reasons we didn't get our raises. And for those scenarios where the client is, right, they're grossly opposed to a 3-year contract, just price your solution to a 1-year commitment. And I know it's a crazy idea and it doesn't help your EBITDA and your valuation for selling your business. That's not your goal. Don't take that advice, right? Show them, hey, I have to make my average client profitability per year. If you want a 1-year contract, it's $250 per user per month. And if you want a 3-year contract, it's $150 a user per month. There's a good chance your customer is going to pick 3 years, but just give them the option. Why even have a debate about this topic, right? You're supposed to be building a relationship. You're not supposed to start it off proving to them how smart you are. Just stop doing it. So guys, I'm curious on your thoughts here. I know this may cause a stir, and I know I kind of went on a tirade, but it's just too good to not get out there. It's too good to not talk about. And I hope that in planning in 2024, this thought process will at least help you make a better decision to concentrate on what's most important in your company, which is your people and your customers. You think you are a client experience and client success type organization? Then act like it. Don't force the product down their throat. Guys, this has been unreal. I really enjoyed doing this one. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and also our newsletter over at k7leadership.com/community. So you can start to hear about all these bi-weekly meetups we're having. There's an awesome talk we're having this week about making an MSP talent factory idea, and this idea that Peter gave me, which was we're more like a college football team than a professional football team. Got to tune in more for that one because it's a fantastic idea. But anywho, guys, as always, I appreciate your time and support. I'll see you all next week. Have a good one.